morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you all so very much for being here today. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share this practice, to be in this practice with each and every one of you. It's an awesome opportunity for us to be able to spend this time together on this lovely snowy day. Oh yes. All right. Let's make the best of it. Okay. So let's begin our practice. Let's find a comfortable spot, and we're going to take just a moment at the beginning of our practice for a meditative moment, just a moment of stillness, and to allow ourselves to settle in. So that's that comfortable spot could be a seated position, laying down, or a child's pose, whatever you find the most comfort in. And as you find that comfortable position, begin to just settle down into that position. Try to settle not only the body, but settle the mind if you can. And just recognize kind of the connection of the two. As we find stillness of our body, it's a little bit easier to start calming down the mind. Now, if you're anything like me, my meditation practice has been really challenging over the past several weeks. It's really hard to calm down. It's really hard to settle down. It's really hard to find that restful nature and just the quietness of the mind. And at times it's aggravating and it's frustrating, and it's all those types of emotions that really kind of culminate in a practice that doesn't feel great. But knowing that if we continue to push into the practice, and if I push into the practice, that ultimately we'll have those breakthroughs. And so that's why we call it a practice, because some days we'll arrive at the mat and we'll be ready to go, and other days we'll need to coerce our minds, we'll need to coerce our bodies to find that restful nature. And so today, as we find that restful nature on our mats, by the way, if you're following on the playlist, go ahead and get that started, playlist number 21, sorry about that. So if we're finding that restful nature on our mats, let's use wherever we're at today as our baseline for our practice today. So whatever it is our calm is, whatever our relaxation is, without judgments, without trying to force it to be anything other than what it is, let's just allow ourselves to be here. And as we allow ourselves to be here, then we're inviting, we're creating that invitation. We're letting ourselves know it's okay. It's okay, whatever our baseline is today. And then we use that baseline in how we feel right now to apply the breath and try to apply the postures to still try to feel this level of baseline. So even in the toughest of the postures that we'll experience today, we still want to engage in those postures as if we're right here in this position, in this restful state. So let's try to make a note of how it feels right now, whether it's unsettled or whether it's nice and calm and relaxing. And wherever it's at, this becomes our baseline for the easier poses and the challenging poses that we'll experience in our practice today. Let's continue with our practice. We'll find a seated position, and we'll begin our physical practice in that seated position. So if you're laying down, go ahead and take an opportunity to go ahead and find that seated position. And I'm going to turn the lights up so we can get going with our physical practice. So in this seated position, let's just find a nice, comfortable place for our hands just on our laps, and begin just a little bit of some rocking and rolling side to side. Just a little bit of movement, just start the process of our mind and body and mentality connection. Okay. We need our breath, we need our body, we need our minds, and all of that connects into how we feel for the day. Go ahead and switch directions on those circles. And each one of those aspects can affect one of the others. And so with our breath, let's start to deepen our breath and get used to deepening our inhales and lengthening our exhales, moving towards that nice deep yoga breath. And of course, we'll use that breath to guide our path and guide our movements. We'll begin right here with some hugs. So bring our hands to heart center. Maybe move those hands past each other a little bit, warm them up. And then let's begin with a nice big inhale, arms out to the side, palms out nice and wide. Inhale, squeeze those shoulder blades together, and exhale, one arm over the other. Give yourself a hug. Inhale, squeeze those shoulder blades together, and exhale, separate those shoulder blades from each other. And do that about 4 more times, alternating the arms one over the other. Lengthening through the front of our body, through the chest and the shoulders. Good. Big inhales. Continue to deepen those inhales and the exhales as we move here. Just a couple more times. All right, and one last time right there. Good. And now let's bring our hands to prayer and heart center, and then just point them towards me. And we're going to add a little twist to this now. Left hand opens up, inhale, and point to the back of the room. Exhale, come right back center. And then right hand, inhale, point to the back, and exhale. And just follow those hands behind you. Follow those hands. Inhale, and exhale. Of course, we're letting that pace of that breath, the depth of that breath, guide the pace in which we move. And a good way to make sure that we're using gentleness in our bodies. Good way to make sure that we're finding that baseline that we talked about earlier, that restful nature of the pose, is to continue to tune in with our breath. And if that breath is free-flowing, the depth of our breath is free-flowing, then that's a good indication. One more time to the left, and then one more time to right. It's a good indication that we're in the right spot and that we're still able to find the restful nature of our pose. Let's take our hands right here, interlock those fingers, and then press the palms up toward the sky. Just reach nice and high. Bring those biceps right to the outside of our ears. So a little shoulder mobility right here. Good. Reaching up and pressing those palms. Take a nice big inhale and fill those lungs. On the exhale, rock a little bit to the right. Press those palms to the right, which means our hips are driving to the left. And then inhale up to the center, and then exhale, hands to the left. Lean over to the left, which means our hips are going to the right. We're lengthening the right side of our body. And just flow through this now. Inhale and exhale. Try and hear the audible sound of your own breathing. And we started with a little meditative moment, an opportunity to just find stillness. But there's no reason why the movements of our body can't be a meditative aspect as well. And so if we connect that breath with the movements, listen for that breath, and feel that breath go in, we can create a little meditative moment, a little rhythm. An opportunity to stay in tune, stay in the presence. One more time to the right, and one more time to the left. Good. Let's let those arms just shake out a little bit. Let those arms shake. Shake, rattle, and roll. Here we go. A little shake and bake. Okay. All right. So little forward folds now. So let's lengthen our legs. Toes toward the shins. I'm going to turn just to the side just a little bit. Okay, just so my feet aren't like right in the camera. Inhale up and exhale and hinge. Okay, and we're not forcing it. We're just letting our body hinge. Inhale right back up, and then exhale as we sweep those hands through. Gonna do about 4 more of those. And maybe you might find that each exhale, each time you lean forward, maybe we're going a little bit more forward because those hips are getting looser. Those hamstrings are feeling a little bit better. Okay. And so we just allow our bodies to move the way that they're going to move. Let go of the idea that we have to control anything. Let go of the idea that we have to force anything. And if we just let go, then we actually let it be. We let it be. Little Beatles song. One more time. Awesome. All right. And we'll add some gentle twists now. So inhale those hands up Stay nice and long with those legs, and then exhale, turn to the left. One hand behind you and one hand to the hip bone. And then inhale nice and tall, and exhale to the right. Again, 4 more times each direction there. Inhale and exhale. Trying to keep the length crown of our head to our tailbone, which means we're engaging our core a little bit extra right there, as we have to sit tall. We're not hunching down into this, we're sitting tall. As we sit tall and we reach overhead, anytime we go overhead, we feel those muscles start to border our spine and try to stabilize our spine. Good. Hey, one more time each. One more time to the left, and one more time to the right. Good. All right. Coming right back to front and center here. I'm going to turn just a little bit to the side. All right. So our left leg's going to be bent, and our right leg is going to kick up. Little half boat kickers, as I call it. Half boat kickers. Okay. So hands to the side. Just going to kick that right toes up, and then just set them down. And let's do that. So inhale them up, and exhale, set them down. Keep going. Leaning back into it, using those hands for support. Whew, my legs are already shaking. What have I been doing today? Okay. 2 more times right there. And then we're going to turn this into an in, out, and up. So one more half boat and down. Now, in, out, and up. We're going to bring that knee in and out. Tap those heels, and then kick the toes up. Good. Give me 5 more right there. In and out, and kick it up. Of course, getting that core a little bit warmer and heated up. And we can still do this, which is, feels really warm on the legs, maybe a little burn on the legs. We can still do that and still be gentle with our bodies, okay? All right. So maybe if we think back to where we were sitting, we were nice in that restful state. Are we still feeling that right now? Well, maybe not on this right leg. Maybe we're feeling something a little bit different, but perhaps still on the rest of the body, which means, we're still in control. We're still moving with gentleness. Good. Let's switch to the other side. That right leg, it had it. Okay? At least for me, it did. Right leg bent, left leg straightened, toes toward the shins, hands to the side. Got a little boat lift right here. Lift those toes up. Drive them up. And working in through those hips of ours. Kick those toes. Lean forward as best you can. Lean forward as best you can. All right. Whew. One more time right here. We're going to turn this one into an in, out, and up. So here we go. Tap the heel, in and out, and kick those toes on up. Keep going. In, out, and up. 4 more times. Maybe I'll pay attention to the count this time. You're probably like in that last one. It's like, is he ever going to stop? Is he ever going to stop these in, out, and ups? Because my hip flexors are starting to scream at me a little bit. We can still find the calm in this pose. We can still find the calm in this pose, which means we have the complete control of our choices and how we move. 1 or 2 more. That's up to you. That's up to you. We'll go 2 more. Okay? All right. Very nice. All right. Staying in this seated position, I'm going to face head on now. Little separation with those feet to the edges of our mat, and then knees coming in, almost like we're a little bit pigeon-toed or just buckling. We're gonna rock some windshield wipers, just side to side, side to side. And we're gonna add some elements to these windshield wipers. And the first element is a look. So then we're going to look in the direction opposite of the way our knees are going. So when our knees go to the right this time, take a peek to the left. When our knees go to the left this time, take a peek to the right. And continue to do that. Left and right looks as our knees go in the opposite direction. It's like rubbing your belly and tapping your head. All right. So we'll stop looking side to side, but keep those legs going just a little bit. And then we're going to sit with both knees to the right side, and then our left hand reaching up nice and high and come on over. So my right elbow is down on the ground, my left hand's reaching up and over. Just reaching into that side body. Just the creation of deer pose with our legs. And just a little side bend, just a creative way to get into that side bend. Good, let's come out of that, same thing, other side. So as we come down, we're just going to come onto our left elbow and reach that right hand overhead. Good. And then as we sit tall, keep the legs right where they're at, and take that left hand and reach one up. And bring that left hand down, same thing other side. Bring those legs over, and then just that right hand this time, reaching on up. Now if you gotta grab onto a leg or something like that, that's fine. Just a little bit different feel for that deer pose. Excellent. All right, we're gonna come up to a standing position. I'll guide you there, or you can just stand up. I always like to give you the option to guide you there, feet nice and wide to the outside of our mats, dominant hand onto the mat, start lifting our hips up like a single leg bridge, okay? Other hands reaching forward, begin rocking forward. And as we rock forward, put the weight of our body onto those feet and then stand on up. Excellent job right there. Good. All right, so we'll start with a crouching forward fold. Crouching forward fold. So what that means, we're gonna start with our hands at heart center. We're gonna reach up nice and tall. Gonna reach up nice and tall. And as we begin to fold, we're going to put a deep bend into our knees. So exhale, nice long spine, crown of our head to our tailbone, but start bending those knees, bending those knees. Okay, almost feeling that crease starting to develop between our legs and hips. And then we come on down towards the ground. It's almost a chair pose as we reach down. And then either with those fingertips on the legs, the shins, or on the ground, or on that block, then we begin lifting our tailbone up toward the sky, dropping our head down towards the ground, forward fold. Good, let's try that again. Little bend in those knees. Inhale up nice and tall. And then exhale. Exhale as we crouch. Crouch down. Bring those hands down. Drop the crown of the head down. Then lengthen those legs and lift the tailbone up as if the little string is attached to our tailbone. Good. One more time there. A little bend in those knees. Sweep up nice and tall. And on our next exhale, hinge down, hinge those knees, hinge those hips. Come on down, almost like going around to hug our legs. And then just drop those hands down, drop the crown of our head, and then lift those hips. It's a different way to feel that stretch, is to lift through the hips. Good. One last breath right here in this forward fold. A little bend in those knees. Sweep up nice and tall and exhale to our heart center. Okay, I'll face head on. Interlocked hands, side bends, feet about hip distance apart. If you want to feel a little bit more, walk those feet closer together. Interlock those fingers and draw those palms up toward the sky. Press those hands to the right side. Lean over and then draw those hips to the left side of the room. Weight of our body shifting into that left foot. And our body pressing into that left hip like we're pushing it onto the left wall. All right. Inhale up, other side. And then exhale on down. Exhale over, sorry. Hands to the left side, hips to the right. Okay, inhale nice and tall, exhale right back to heart center. And again, let's set those feet out just a little bit now, shoulder width or hip distance or shoulder width apart. Okay, inhale up, nice and tall. And then with our long spine finding airplane pose. So we stay nice and long, crown of our head to our tailbone. Legs stay long, they're not bending at all. A little soft bend in those knees at best, and those hands coming back. So engaging our core, nice, strong, and long lines. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see that. Okay? So about parallel to the floor. Just trying to visualize that you're parallel to the floor, crown your head to your tailbone. Get a little soft bend in the knees, and that tailbone as if it's sitting on the back wall. Now from here, we're going to add a little twist. little twist, either with that block or the hand on the ground or hand on the leg. Okay, so a little windmill twist right here. So that right hand's going to come down on towards the ground or the block or in front of that left foot, right hand up toward the sky. Deep bend in that right knee as we bring that left hand to the hip or up nice and high. And hold and breathe. Sinking into that left hip, feeling it on the outside of that left leg, deeply into the glutes and that connection into our lower back. Great, great runner stretch right here to get the outside of that leg, the IT band. Doesn't like to move very much. And then we'll exhale that left hand down, put a deep bend in that left knee, and then raise that right hand up toward the sky. Can also be on the hip if it bothers your shoulder. Sinking on to the right side now. One more breath right here, making sure that breath is still free-flowing, okay? Still free-flowing. We have the restful nature of that breath right here. Exhale, both hands down. A little bend in those knees and sweep up, nice and tall, and right back to heart center. Awesome. Our upright version of Sun A today. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can continue to see this. Feet shoulder width or slightly, right there. Okay, hands at heart center. Inhale up and exhale. And fold on down. Nice long lines as we come on down. Inhale up to a flat back. Rest those hands, cross those shins below the knees on the leg. Good, nice long spine like we were just in that airplane pose. Little bend in those knees as we exhale down and inhale, sweep. Nice and tall with a strong back and exhale right back to heart center. Let's do 4 more of those. Inhale up and exhale and fold. Inhale up to that flat back. Get that nice long spine and dynamic tension. Exhale, release that tension. Inhale, sweep up nice and tall, and exhale on down to heart center. We've got 3 more. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up, flat back. Feel those hamstrings and glutes and lower back. Exhale, stay in control, but then sweep nice and tall. Squeezing those hamstrings and glutes to lift you back up. Exhale, heart center. Inhale up and exhale on down. Working that hip mobility right here. Inhale up, flat back, and exhale, release on down. Inhale up, all the way up, reverse that swan dive, and exhale back to heart center. We'll go uno more times. Exhale down, inhale up, flat back. Exhale, release those hands, and inhale, nice and tall, right back to our heart center. There we go. All right. Let's engage in our first series of standing postures. We'll start with Warrior One pose. And I'm just kicking my block around here. Sorry, block. Just going to kick you around. I'll start facing you. Right foot forward, left foot back. Both feet on the ground. Deep bend in that right knee right towards our toe, or pinky toes. So much so I can see my big toe and my second toe. And that left foot's pointing off to the left side of the room. Hips slightly coming forward, but listen into the hips and the knee and the ankle on that left side. Arms up, shoulders rolled down or at heart center. Excellent. Okay, and so once we get here, we just like we talked about earlier, we find what's our restful nature of this pose right here. Where's the spot in this pose where we're in command, we're in control, we feel most at home, we feel the most comfort, but we're still feeling something. We're not feeling anything that's overboard or abnormal. We're able to just bake into it and sink into this pose. Awesome. Now from here, we're going to find Warrior Two. And that front knee and toes are not going to move at all. The only thing that moves is that back foot pointing to the left side of the room, and those arms sweeping straight out front and back of the room, like we're trying to reach the opposite sides of the room. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see that. Okay. All right, Warrior Two, good posture right here, ears over shoulders and over hips. Good, make that length right there, nice and perpendicular to the ground. You can always feel that with your body. If you're leaning too forward or too back, you can feel that there's different aspects of pressure that you're creating on your body. So what we're trying to do is minimize the pressure on our body with each one of these poses. Of course, there's going to be work that's happening. We're feeling that work right now on these legs. The more I talk, the more work you're going to feel. Okay, let's find right angle pose. Right forearm to the top of that right leg, back hand to the hip, or up toward the sky, or even just extended overhead. And if you're really looking for something deeper on that right angle, bring that right hand down to the ground or that block. that's on the ground and find the right angle that best matches your abilities today. And that's, of course, your abilities not only physically, but your ability to stay in the restful nature of the pose with that breath free-flowing and going in and out nice and gently and easily. All right, from here we're going to move to triangle pose by simply lengthening that front leg, okay? Just simply lengthening that front leg. Keeping that length on our spine, we can still extend that triangle if we want to, hand overhead. Or we can go straight up and down with it. Awesome. We're going to come out of this, we'll exhale back to Warrior Two, and we're going to straddle the long edge of our mats. So our toes are going to be pointed towards the outside corners, knees towards those toes. Okay, so you can also just straddle your mat if you're just watching right now and want to make sure that you can continue to see everything. All right, inhale up. Tap those thumbs up to the sky and just bring your elbows right to your ribs. Moonflowers. Initially, let's do 4 of those. Inhale, and then knees to the toes as we sit down nice and low. All right. And give me 2 more of these. And last one, inhale. And then we'll go to a Sun Goddess. Inhale all the way up, palms up toward the sky. Sit down into those legs and stay right here. Thumbs to the back of the room. Thumbs to the back of the room behind you. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Awesome. So from here, we're going to engage with a little bit of a side-to-side bend, staying in those legs. So we'll take our left hand and reach overhead. Good. And then our right hand and reach overhead. Inhale back to center. Exhale as we reach. Now, staying in those legs as best we can. Okay? I know. You're like, well, Dave, you said you want me to be a restful nature. You know, my restful nature, I'm not laying on the couch right now. I'm not in bed. That's my restful nature. What's this business with my legs right now? What are you doing to me? Okay? But we're finding that calm and collectedness in the spot we're in right now while we're reaching up above. One more time on each side. Let's lengthen those legs now, shall we? Inhale up, nice and tall, and exhale to heart center. Perfect. Let's switch sides on that standing series. We're left foot forward and right foot back now. Warrior One pose. Knees to toes. Okay, right foot's pointing just slightly off to that right side. Square up, or bring the hips forward, but square up the shoulders. And then just sink in, find the depth that both best matches your needs today. Good, breathing in through this. All right. And then we'll find that Warrior Two. Again, left knee, left toe, stay right there. Point those right toes to the right side of the room. Extend those arms front and back. Front and back. Good. Maintaining the depth of that knee. I'm going to turn to the side. Good. So left foot still forward. Right foot out. Arms nice and long and still. Ears over shoulders, over hips. That good long spine. Excellent. Move to right angle pose now, so that left forearm on top of the leg, back hand to the sky, or overhead extended. You can also use that block or down to the ground if you want a little bit deeper right angle. But that's your choice. That's your choice. Where do you want to be today? Where do you want to be today? Okay? We can stay right here and find triangle pose by simply lengthening that front leg without locking that front knee. Backhand straight up, or even extend it overhead if we want to. Okay, hand can stay on the shin or on that block. All right. Now, we're going to exhale back to that Warrior Two. And we're going to find that straddle again. So feeling something on those legs. This time tap those thumbs and tap those pinky fingers. Inhale and exhale, pinky fingers. Draw a big circle with those hands. Inhale and exhale, sunflowers. is what they're called. Little moonflower, little sunflower. Good. We got 2 more right here. And then we're going to find one more inhale and sun goddess. Palms up to the sky. Sit down nice and low in to this pose. Thumbs to the back of the room. Strong legs, strong feet. And let's start playing with our heels now. So our right heel lifted up off the ground. Good. And then set it down. Our left heel lifted up off the ground. Squeeze those calves. And then set it down. Now it's going to be a little bit forward back balance now. Both heels lift up off the ground. Whoo, there we go. Hold. Hold. Thumbs still going to the back of the room. Hold. To keep everything engaged. Hold. Sink deeper into those legs and hold. And set those heels down. Stay in those legs. We're going to do a little rowboat now with those hands. So we're going to push out, inhale, and then exhale and row to the right. And inhale. And exhale and row to the left. Inhale. Maybe a little lengthening on those legs and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Keep going. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Come on. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Sweep those hands nice and tall. Lengthen those legs. Exhale to heart center. Very nice. Okay, let's find crescent pose. Crescent pose. So crescent pose, right foot forward, left foot back, both feet facing forward. Both feet facing forward, hips and shoulders square to the front. Okay, all right. From here, we're going to engage in a little side bend, open up that left side, interlock those fingers like we did earlier and press those palms up toward the sky. And then drive those hands over to the right side. Push those hands as our hips move and open up to the left. That looks great. Couple more breaths right here. Good. And as we come out of this, let's find crescent pose. I'm going to turn to the side just so you can see this. Right foot forward, left foot still back. We're going to lean in, find 3-point balance. So as we're going to bring both hands in front of that right foot. Left foot floats up off the ground. What we're going to do is a little knee to nose about 8 times. So draw that left knee toward our nose and press that left heel up, squeezing through the glutes. Down and up, squeeze through the glutes. Okay, total of, let's say 5 to 8, your choice. Your choice. But no evens in between that. And nothing that has a 7 associated with it. So 5 or 8. I'm kidding around with you. Pick whatever number you want. Good. As we come out of this, we'll find runner's lunge. We're going to step that left foot back. Right knee hovers right above that right ankle. I'm going to face you now, okay? So from runner's lunge, just keeping that back knee up if you want to, or setting it down and try to keep us off our hands and knees as much as possible. Twisted low lunge thread. Inhale, that right hand up toward the sky. Hold it for a moment. Breathe, get used to this motion. Then we're going to thread the needle 5 times. As we exhale, bring that right hand underneath the left armpit like we're scratching our back, and inhale that right hand back up. Good. And flow through that. Exhale, square up our hips and shoulders. Inhale, open up those shoulders. Try to avoid over-rotating, okay? All we need to do is make our body perpendicular there. We don't need to go beyond perpendicular with those arms. So just make sure they feel good, okay? When we go beyond that perpendicular, we start to put strain on those shoulders, and that's no good. That's no good for those shoulders. All right, we're down a total of 5 there. Set both hands down, walk the feet forward, and then sweep those hands up nice and tall, and exhale to heart center. Excellent. Same thing, other side. Same thing, other side. That left foot forward, right foot back. Everything squared up to the front now.
Good. Crescent pose. Crescent pose. We'll begin by interlocking those fingers again, pressing those hands up and reaching into the right side of our body now as we press those hands to the left. Let's soften that arch. You see my back heel lifted up on that one. I don't know if you saw it or not, but it did. I lifted up like I'm pushing off my toes. Soften that arch and just sit back into your heel. My heel's not touching the floor, nor does it need to. But just let go of hanging on to something that doesn't matter. And me hanging on to my heel lifting right there simply did not matter. So we exhale and come back to a crescent pose. Then we'll find that 3-point balance. Again, I'm going to turn to the side. Okay, we're going to bring those hands in front of that left foot. Right heel floats up off the ground. Good. Keep both hands there, knee to nose. Round through the spine as we exhale, and then inhale, lift that heel up into our lower back as we're drawing that heel back. Okay, 5 to 8 of them. Your choice. Just move your body. Good. Round through the spine. Inhale, lift that heel. Good. I'm going to do a couple more. And of course, when you're done with your 5 or 8 or 5 to 8 of them, go ahead and set that right foot on the floor, step it back, runner's lunge. Left knee above the ankle. Again, that back knee can be down if you want it to be down. I try to, again, keep us off our hands and knees as much as possible. Now, even here, we can be on our hands a lot, or we can be on our hands a little by engaging our core a little bit more on the runner's lunge. All right, so let's find this twisted low lunge now. Inhale that left hand up toward the sky. I'm still just lightly on that right hand. You can see I can balance on this twisted low lunge. Okay, and then thread the needle. Left hand under the right armpit. Scratch that back. Inhale, up, and do that 4 more times. Good. Squaring up hips and shoulders as we come down. Squeezing those abs, then inhale, open up. It's awesome core strengthener right here. And awesome for our spinal health. Keep moving. All right. One last time. Up and through. Very nice. Both hands forward. Step both feet forward. Little bend in those knees. Exhale and sweep up nice and tall. Inhale and back to heart center. All right. Good. All right, so let's find pyramid with a twist to warrior 3. So I'll start right foot forward, left foot just slightly back. Left foot just slightly back for pyramid. Let me grab my block. Grab my block. Okay, it's good. All right, we stand tall, square up hips and shoulders, right there in the front, and then begin hinging through those hips. Tailbones going towards the back of the room. Soft bend in that knee, not locking that knee at all. Okay, but not deeply bending it either. Keeping our shoulders, keeping our hips square to the ground as I come on down. And then we'll find that pyramid that makes sense for you when you can just find the restful nature of this pose. Which means you've taken the time to use the right alignment to come down. And then when you get down there, you get to reap the rewards by dropping the crown of your head, round it through your spine, and just relaxing. Just chilling out for a little bit. Okay, that leg is lengthened. Keep those hips still square. So maybe thinking about that left hip slightly coming forward. And breathe through this. All right, so we're going to add a little twist here. A little twist. So that left hand is going to stabilize on the ground or on the block. Right hand to the hip or up towards the sky. Hips still square to the ground, but opening up our heart to the right side of the room. I still got a soft bend in that right knee. It's still not locked. It's still nice and soft. I can still move it around. And so you do the same thing. Protect that knee. And protect that breath as well. We should still be able to breathe freely. Now, if we're not able to breathe freely, we lift a little bit higher. By coming up onto that block a little bit more. Oh, that's better. I can breathe in freer in there. All right. Let's bring both hands down to the ground. Both hands down. I'm going to turn to the side. Let's refine that 3-point balance. Refine that 3-point balance as we're going to go bottom up now to warrior 3. Which means we're going to lift the hands up off the ground to warrior 3. Hands to heart center, out forward, thumbs up. or hands back by those hips. There we go. A little 3-point balance to warrior 3. And just find the confidence in this pose. Hips, shoulders square to the ground. Ears rolled back and down away from the ears, wherever they're at. Loosen up the tension through those shoulders and jaw. Squeeze those heels up a little bit more into our lower back. And exhale and release. Very nice. Okay. We did our thing there. Left foot forward. Right foot back. Pyramid pose. Okay. Both feet on the ground, heels to toes. Just a half step back. Square up hips and shoulders. Stay nice and tall and hinge over. Good. Get my tailbones going towards the back of the room. I'm still trying to just really intently focus on my hips here. Sometimes we come down, the hips want to open up. So just imagine little flashlights right here on the belly button. Does it start to turn out and face over here? Or does it stay right there towards your left toes? All right. Where's your flashlight at? Keeping the squareness of those hips and shoulders. Then you bake into it. You sink into it. You find that comfortable pyramid chair of ours. That's right. This is the pyramid lazy boy. Drop the crown of your head, round your spine, and relax and breathe. Couple more breaths here, just allowing us to settle in. Settle in. Then we'll move on to a twist. So that right hand will stabilize on the ground or block left hand up to the hip or sky. Twisted triangle is what it's called. Again, seeking that freedom of our body's movement and our breath. That breath should still be just as free as if you were just sitting down or laying down like we did at the beginning of class. In total control of everything. Good. As we exhale, bring that left hand down. We're going to keep both hands right in front of that left foot, and right heel begins to lift off the ground. 3-point balance. Good. And then from 3-point balance, we're going to lift to warrior 3. So a lot of strength right there. Core, back, glutes, balance, stability. Hands to heart center or out in front or back behind our hips. Totally up to you. And just play around and experiment with your warrior 3. When we are done, we can exhale and set that right foot down. Whew. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, let's do one more balance posture. Let's find our tree. Let's find our tree. Okay? Our tree's got a little dusting of snow today, but we'll make our tree nonetheless. Right foot on the ground, left knee and toes point to the left side, and either the toes on the ground, an ankle above, or heel above that ankle, or foot or above or below the knee on the leg. Now with long pants on, that foot likes to slide a little bit. So, not only do we take what our physical body will give us, we'll also take what our physical garments will give us as well. So that foot's going to stay below the knee today. And this is going to be my version and expression of tree pose. Hands can be at heart center. You can create those branches or overhead. Okay, you can always close your eyes. You can always look up. Just settle in, calm, peace. No wind in our trees today. No wind in our trees today. All right, and release. Good. Same thing, other side. Left foot on the ground, right knee and toes point to that right side. Find your expression of tree and those hands and sink into it. exhale and release. Let's find a seated position on the ground. Seated position. Okay. And we'll start with this easy seated pose. And this will be the origin of, we'll get into some twists from here. Okay, and little twists, good stretching. So we're going to take that left leg and just bring that left leg to the outside of that right knee. So I set the whole right leg down, and just that left foot's now sitting onto the outside, left knee nice and high. Okay, from here, we're going to get into a twist. Okay, so we're going to take that left hand, we'll take the eye of our right elbow first, and we'll just bring it right in front of that left knee. Then we'll bring that left hand behind our right arm and turn. Stay nice and tall as we turn. Drawing that leg into your heart center. You can almost feel it like against your ribs or into your belly as you rotate and turn, and stay nice and tall. Okay? So it's almost like giving yourself just a, nice a little, making yourself into a ball and giving yourself a little hug right there. Of course, the benefits physically, great stretch in through those deep glute muscles and the connection of those into the lower back. And of course, as we add a little rotation, the connection right there. Good. On our next exhale, let's release back to that easy seated position. And we'll leave that left leg right there. Right leg's gonna unfurl out of that, get out of that pretzel, and bring that right foot now to the outside of that left knee. Left leg's completely laying on the ground. That eye of our left elbow wraps completely around the front of our right knee. Squeeze that knee a little bit, right hand behind you. Rotate and turn. Stay nice and tall and breathing nice and smoothly. Take one more inhale, and then on our exhale, let's re-find that easy seated position. Let's work our neck and shoulders just a little bit. Let's take that left hand, reach behind our back, and grab onto the right wrist. Make a little wing on the left side. Let's exhale our chin to our chest, left ear to left shoulder, towards the wing. Relax our jaw space between our teeth and feel that nice deep stretch on the right side, neck and shoulder. Same thing other side. Good. Right hand grabs the left wrist. Exhale, chin to chest, right ear, right shoulder. Relax the jaw. And then go ahead and release. Let's stay right here in this seated position. And we'll bring our fingers to peace fingers. Peace fingers. Taking those peace fingers, placing them on our temples. Allow your eyes, if it's comfortable, just gently close. Now the teeth to relax, your face to relax, your jaw to relax. And just start drawing those temples, just little circles on those temples, applying a little bit of pressure. While moving a little bit closer. And then maybe the other direction. Keep the pressure. And now replace those peace fingers with your thumbs. Keep your thumbs right on the temples. I'm going to do two things with these.
We'll take those peace fingers and we'll place it right in the middle of our brow. Right in the middle of our brow. There's a little pressure point right there. Both peace fingers pressing. Kind of like when I do temple massages and I put my thumbs right there. If you're familiar with that. Keep the thumbs pressing on the temples and the index fingers, or the peace fingers pressing right at the middle of the brow. And then we'll draw those index fingers from the center to our thumbs, tracing our brow line. Still relaxing our jaw, still relaxing our face. Just tracing that brow line. Nice. Pressure right there, not overdoing it. Good. Good. And now keep the thumbs right there, great little fancy little ears, and place the palms of your hands into your eyes, just onto your eyes, keeping the pressure on the palms, and making sure you're closing your eyes, of course, as you do that. And just cup your eyes and your forehead. Just breathe. One more breath. Good. All right. Let's go and release and just shake those arms down. We were holding up there for a while. Okay, let's go ahead and find our Shavasana final relaxation. Either interlocking those ankles, grabbing behind the knees, rolling onto our backs. You can stay in a seated position or child's pose. I'm going to dim the lights and get us continued into Shavasana. So as we find our final relaxation, allow yourself to permission to find complete comfort. Allow yourself to permission to be 100% on your mats, on the floor. Feel whatever is beneath you. And try to create that sensation where you're just falling into it, where you're melting into it. Allow your eyelids to rest gently and your breath to be as calm as you can make it. Allow your body to be still and relaxed, releasing any tension that we still might be carrying throughout our body into those hands or feet or glutes or shoulders and back. Finding that restful nature. And maybe compare, just for a moment, how we feel right now in this restful state versus the restful state when we started our practice an hour ago. Of course, we accept wherever we're at, and we accepted whatever our restful state was at the beginning as our baseline. Do you feel the same way? Do you feel difference one way or the other? Not necessarily meant to judge it, but just to maybe find the value and the benefits of self-care and what you were able to do for yourself through your practice. Just a few more breaths right here. Good. So I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be here right now, to be present, to be in this moment with each and every one of you, to share this practice and be part of a practice with all of you. This is not my practice. This is your practice in our collective community together. Allowing us the opportunity to just really find our baseline, to really tune into how we find our restful nature of just our mind and our body, whether we're on the mat or off. Our closing message. We have a tendency to think in terms of doing and not in terms of being. We think that when we are not doing anything, we are wasting our time, but that's not true. Our time is, first of all, for us to be. To be what, you might wonder. To be alive, to be peaceful, to be joyful, and to be loving. And that, more than anything, is what the world needs most right now. I honor the love and light in each of you as it's also within me. Namaste.